Hey guys, it's Jeff from RenoVision here, and today I'm here to talk about my new closets. This is my master bedroom, and I've got his and I've got hers. So we're building underneath the slope. So it's a little bit tricky, and because of the design of this old farmhouse, in order to get the room nice and big, what we're doing is we're putting in modular closets. That's the name of the company we've gone with, and we're gonna put them all tower systems and everything else with drawers. It eliminates the need for any furniture, and we're gonna go from something really basic and simple like this to this and this. And I'm going to take you on the whole process, right from going online and ordering and measuring and then installing and building these things. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I think if you want to get a really spectacularly sexy closet, then this is a great solution for you too. Let's get going. Now, we are going to go online, and actually before I do that, got another announcement to make here. Bum, 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 bum. We got our silver play button in the mail for our second channel, Reality RenoVision. All right, and listen, if you're a fan of this Reality RenoVision channel, then give this video a thumbs up. Why not? And if you haven't subscribed to this yet, you need to be, because we're making major changes. We're gonna go to once a week video. We're gonna do more of a blog style about our journey, okay? And so when we're finished the next season, that's gonna happen. Make sure you be a part of this, because this content is awesome, and my wife is in those videos, and you're gonna love her. She's amazing. All right? Now listen, the reason we're doing this and we're using modular closets is this is for people who are looking for ready to assemble furniture. That's what they ship you. And the best part about this company is the website was freaking amazing. So if you consider the idea, especially in old farmhouses, you can use that space under the slope, right? And fill it all up with closets like this, and you don't have to buy any furniture. Now, we went and designed our own because we're nuts. Here we go. So it breaks it down into the different tower components. At this point, you get an idea of how much you're spending on each unit, and you can go back and change things. Options to pay. Only ships to the United States. Sorry guys if you live in Canada or you're EU for this one, but they are limiting their shipping to the United States. And that's fine. Okay, I know I'm in Canada, and I'm gonna be able to make arrangements with them. I think the point is that for 850 bucks with free shipping anywhere in the United States, this is a great option if you want to get a custom closet. I mean, that is 10 feet of wall space, floor to ceiling, custom closets. You can keep it simple for now, and then down the road, you can even go back to the company later, add drawer packs and other features and benefits. It's so easy to install. So let's leave this. We'll go upstairs and we'll show you how this product installs, and let's get building our closets. This is one of these moments where you get to see me make a mistake. This is what I ordered. Beautiful. Lots of cabinets, it all hanging. In a traditional height closet, you have a second bar, so you got separates and then full length gowns. Perfect. Lots of storage, drawers, all this kind of business, right? No need for additional furniture in your room. But what I have is an 1880 farmhouse, not a normal closet. So I'm gonna go through a couple of the things we ran into, and then we think we have a solution to this problem, but let's just deal with this. First of all, I had to build out a closet wall. And I had restrictions because I have a door going into the room. And I can't move that any further to the right because it's near the top of the stairs. And so I've got a code issue there. Besides, if I build it out on this side over here, I start getting closer to the window. So I'm dealing with my original slope ceiling here, okay? When these cabinets came, we then put them together. It's a cam lock system, like a lot of furniture that's ready to assemble. And we realized at that point that we couldn't get this up to the 80 inches we wanted to. We had the height in the closet, but we would have to custom cut. And originally I was thinking I'd just custom cut, put it all back together again. But then reality strikes. The custom cutting in this situation is still gonna be almost impossible because the house itself has a curve to it. So there's no way for me to actually build all these closets and step them down and custom cut them. No matter what I do here, it's gonna look like junk. So instead of going with that elaborate system, I'm gonna put in 3 towers, and I'm just gonna put in regular good old fashioned closet rods. And I'm not gonna get the performance out of this that I wanted, but it is gonna give me a little bit more space so that if somebody wants to use a dresser or something, there's room for that here. And that might even be a benefit in the long run. So what we're gonna do is, instead of having one of these in between each set of opening doors, we're gonna put 2 of them together in the middle, okay? And then we'll have this one scooched over here a little bit. we're gonna have room for a rod in between that and a rod on the other side, and then a huge rod down on the end. Yeah, such is my life. This way, we are pretty level. We're only out about 1/4 to 1/2 inch over the 4 feet, and we can make that work if we're using a rod to connect the ends. And then for the rest of the oddity over here, just a huge solid rod is gonna it's gonna save my bacon. So consider this before you go and order something like this. Make sure you've got the depth, make sure you got the height. We ordered this and assumed we were gonna customize the closet to fit the cabinet, but have now come to realize that that's gonna be an impossibility. I missed out on how out of level this floor is in my calculations, and it's made this system impossible. So they have components, other boxes that go half size for each space here. It's just not gonna work out. So cheers to Modular Closets, great design, great product, but bad organization. This is on me. Ouch. Yeah, that'll work. All right, so we're gonna need to incorporate the use of a lot of shims. Yeah. It's a little problem. Consider yourself a closet. So before we go any further, I'm gonna take the 1.1/8" screws there for particle board, and I'm gonna laminate these two pieces together, make them one, so I can level them off at the same time. When the screw gets to the second piece of laminated material, the threads grab and it pulls them apart. And so the way you deal with that is you have to back it off and go again, and usually 2 or 3 times. So once you've completely sunk on the head, back it one more time, drive it clean through until it's flush again, and it should be nice and tight. Right then. So now we are going to use our shims and try to find our happy level place. Okay, so there's 2 things I've got to do. I've got to level it this way, obviously, and we're out. Great, and I want to level it this way. So in order to do that, I've got to pull the cabinet off the wall a little bit. There we go. So at least that's going to work. Shoot. Yeah, that's pulling it out of square. I need more height off the back here. All right, let's check this. Oh, perfect. Loving it. So we got it working this way and that way. Good, 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 good. All right, so what we're gonna do is, obviously I've got shims coming from different directions. And what we wanna do is we wanna be able to cut the shims so they're not visible. So I'm just gonna mark where that is, okay? I'm gonna hold them together. That same contact here is still making contact here and here and here. It's the nature of the shim. If I cut back about 1/2 inch and then I install the shim 1/2 inch deeper, standing there looking at the closet, you're not gonna see the shim. I'm gonna put it from the front and to the middle of the gable, okay? Woohoo! So now the only thing left to do, we have a few things left to do, but now I have to mount from here into my back wall. So for that, I'm going to need a stud finder and probably some 4-inch screws. Well, we kind of got them installed. I needed to get screws. So what I'm doing is I'm putting that on a list because I don't believe in going to the store more than once a day. Call me old-fashioned, but if I have to go to the store more than once a day, all that is just wasted time. I'd rather find something else to do on my site and then deal with this again tomorrow. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move on. We're gonna paint some door trims, we're gonna paint some doors, we're gonna hang some doors. For in this video, we're gonna just hang the doors. We've got the different hardware for you. We've got rollerball attachments for up here. We've got to get those installed. We've got some dummy handles to put on. So there's lots to do. Let's just keep moving forward, and then through the magic of making videos, after I've got these doors installed, we'll carry on with the installation, but I'm actually filming that part tomorrow. If that makes any sense. But it's the same video. Don't beat it. Stay with us. It'll be right back. Now my system, of course, is remove all the hardware before you paint, okay? And what we do, we actually install the top hinge to the door and the other two to the frame. So then I bring the door over with the hinge attached and I'll screw it in place, and then it automatically sets itself for the other two hinges. It's really difficult sticking 3 hinge doors together, even when they're machined in a shop, because of all the nuances of hardware and everything else. This is just an easier way to do it. One of the advantages of working with a local custom mill shop for your doors and trim, the place I go to is Classical Moldings. They actually cut the doors to size. They created the doors and the jambs. They mortise it all for you. All you gotta do is stick it together on site. They even pre-drilled the holes for my roller balls and supplied me with all my hardware. Amazing, because if you try just going to the local box store, you'd be surprised. A lot of times the hardware only comes in chrome or brass. And as you see, I'm kind of digging the black look this time. So here's the roller ball. It just drops in, and you can see there's a height of the ball. The ball's on a spring. So if you have too much compression, you can tighten it down with a wide screwdriver or a 5-in-1, or I'm using a dull chisel. Here we go. Make sure you don't put the compression on the width side of the door. You can blow out the top. Go on the wide side. It's still sitting way too proud. Not happy about that. There we go. I guess that's as good as we're gonna get. You will notice that the plate has bumps on it. So if I just screw it, it's gonna hang really low. So what we wanna do, and this is why you paint first, is you close the door and let the roller ball hopefully mark the trim. Ta-da! Now I know where the center line is. So here's my center line where the roller ball hit, and then I don't want to be right against the trim or the doors won't close. So I leave a little bit of gap here. All right, and I'm just gonna mark my edges for reference and my 2 holes for reference. So now I know I need to take out a little bit here. Okay. I'm gonna just cheat. I'm gonna go with drilling a bit of a hole, side-by-side holes, okay? And here as well. That looks like it'll work really nice. There we go. Now we've got an option. If you want to do really nice work, you can use that chisel line there. Okay. We can actually chisel and recess the wood, right? And we just want to take a little bit of material out of the way here. When you're doing this kind of work, it's not about how pretty the hole is, it's about how pretty the edge is. And does it function right when you're done? Okay, here we are. Now, oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, let's see if we know what we're doing. Boom. All right, now we gotta do with this one. Well, that one went in a lot easier. Here we go. Here's our mullion, all right? It is a piece of flat stock with a rounded edge, and I'm going to attach it to my door with a little bit of adhesive. And what it does is it gives me the ability to close the door nice and tight. And this is important because we're going to be putting in our motion sensor lights. We're going to put in all the mullions. We're going to put the rest of the doors in. And check out this for a handle. Something a little bit crazy. This is just a dummy handle. We're going to install these on all the closet doors as well. And of course, I'm going to have to draw a laser line to put all those handles on the same line to be perfect. We'll do that too. Wow. That'll be the rest of my day. And of course, in a few seconds, we'll come back to rebuilding the inside of that closet because at the end of today, I'm going to the store to go shopping and then I'm coming back so that we can film the rest of this next time tomorrow. Put in the same video. See you soon. All right, well, while Max was away, I was working on the closets and I got the exteriors all finished and the roller balls all done, so I started putting on the hardware. And I wanted to just share with you my system for doing this because we got doors on both sides of the room, right? The way you want to do this is definitely with a laser level. I'll show you mine. This is actually the FireCore model. This one has a like little top thing, so it actually fires a line on all 4 sides of the room. So this gives me the ability to line up all of these everywhere in the room. So if you're sitting down or you're just picky when you go to buy a house and you want to have a good look, you're going to see it. It's perfect every time. We also decided to go with the handle in a vertical position. It's a little non-traditional, but you can see how easy this is. You just put it on that line and then drive a screw in it. Way too easy. Right? Because there's no action. It's just a pull. So this is nice. So it's easier than, we just kind of figured that would work out well. The last thing to do with the doors is I got to put on the mullion. We'll do that in just a minute. We also got to put in the closet rods. I think it's going to look amazing. So we'll finish with all the little details. We'll go through the step-by-step on how to cut and install the closet rods and how to cut and install the mullion, because this is tricky. You use a different tool and a different adhesive to get this done. And I'll show you a few tips and tricks that you can have a successful French door operation too. Love a good 4-inch cabinet screw. Well, now that the cabinets are installed, it's time to install our rods. And I picked up this black 1¼ inch steel over at the local hardware store, so you can buy it too and you can cut it down to size. Hacksaw, you can use your chop saw to cut this stuff, but just grab an old blade, okay? And then put it on backwards, because this is steel, not aluminum, so it's gonna chew up a blade. All right, and what we're doing is we're just setting this up at 12½ inches off the back wall. I have a 25-inch interior dimension, right? So I'll show you this. When I built this, I added wood in behind here right where I wanted it on a horizontal. If you're not sure, you can use one of these. This is a stud finder. You place it on the wall, you push the button, and then you just slide until you find wood and it'll go red. There's no vertical here, so here we go. There we go. That's where I want it. Boom. So it's just a matter of making a couple of marks. So I need 12½ inch to the center. There we are. Now, I want to put these spots on my laser level line. All right. Because I don't have 3 hands, I'm just going to mark the drywall like that. Now I can grab a screw and set this up. The secret here is not tighten it up too much. All right, you can find that sweet spot before you drill the other screw in. Okay. Good. All right, so you have a clean side and a cut side. Stick the cut side in the hole, because even if it's really rough cut, that'll hide it. Set the bar in place. Okay, and now we're going to just check the laser line on here. Looks like it's a little bit high, because I only used 1 screw on the first. Here we go. I'll make an adjustment and then set it. Perfect every time. All right, now it's time to put on the mullion, and this is just a simple piece of flat stock. It's rounded on both sides, and I cut it to be the size of the door. And the idea is to install this so that it's on one door and it covers the gap. Okay, and that's how it'll function. Now when I drop it down, I don't have a whole lot of room to work with. maybe almost a ½ an inch. All right, so taking my PL Premium, and I've cut a bit of a groove into the side here. What I'm doing is I'm using that groove to set my edge of the PL Premium so I can run it down the side of the door. There's no way you can do it clean like this freehand, okay? So take my advice and cut that groove in the side of your caulking tube. Over time, all the functionality of that door is going to put a lot of wear and tear on whatever nails you use. So got to have the construction adhesive in this case. Next thing I'm going to show you here, this is a 23 gauge finish nailer. These nails are super tiny. They're 1.25 inches. They're so thin they have arrows on it so you know which way to put down in the gun. This is perfect for this scenario because you don't need a lot of nail and you don't have a lot of material to work with. What I'm going to suggest is you just set it on the floor right where you want it and see if there's any identifying marks on the floor that'll help you line it up. This piece of flooring actually has a groove right where I want that trim to go, so that's going to make this a lot easier. And then lift it up into place until I like the look. There we go. And go down here. Now in this case, these nails, the only purpose of these nails is to hold the wood and compress that adhesive. So when the adhesive is finished drying, it becomes one piece of wood. You're not using the nails here and relying on that to keep everything in place. Bam. Now, when that's all dry, which is gonna be about 6 or 8 hours, so next day basically, right, we'll come back with the brush and we'll paint this one more time and try to clean it all up. These nail holes are so small you could actually use DAP caulking to fill them. I'm not in a hurry, so I'm gonna use the Dry Dex, and then we'll just give it a quick buff and then one more coat tomorrow. So we've got our drawer here. It was really simple. Just 4 sides, solid wood, they screw together. Really good quality drawers here. And then we got the drawer hardware. Now, this represents the face of the drawer. Okay, so when I take this apart, I'm going to pull the arm, pull this, set that up, and then I know that this is going over here. Okay, this makes it a lot easier. Wow. All right. And then there. So, first thing we'll do is attach the face with the wood screws. They come pre-drilled. Way too easy. And then we'll just look for another, there's a hole there. Good, that's done. All right. Same for the other side. Okay, now we should just take this measurement real quick. The middle of this is a little bit more than 3 inches to the bottom of the drawer. Okay, so that means I need to install it at the 3rd hole so that it actually clears the shelf. So I'm going to start with the front of the back. There is a hole here. And I'm starting here because I know I can't mess up my location. Here's the 3rd hole. All right. Now, unfortunately, nothing else here lines up. Wow, that is kind of scary. I don't know if these guys even know this. If I get these angles different, there's no way to install that drawer nice, right? So now this has got to be perfect and I've got to use wood screws. Okay, so here's how you solve it. You got to get a short screw. Now I picked up these in the soffit aisle, right? Where you get you can buy soffit and J-trims and stuff like that, all the aluminum, and they sell these self-drilling metal screws, and it's going to work fine for particle board because all of it, the weight is downward. I'm going to use 2. I'm also going to grab my laser level and set it up right here and draw a nice laser line so that the line is connecting on all 4 sides. When you run into problems like this, and you will because the world is funny that way, have a laser level. Problem solved. There we go. Let's see what we got. I'm not going to adjust it. I'm just going to leave the same kind of spacing all the way around. I think that'll be easier to accomplish. Now the back of this hardware, there's 4 holes. Well, 3 for sure. So I'm going to throw in 1. Try to get this It's difficult to do this over the laser at the same time as with the camera. Okay, let's see, maybe that'll work. What I'll do is I'll just get the first screw in, and then we're gonna try the drawer operation empty and see how that works. Here goes everything. Okay, the only trick here is you gotta line these both up at the same side. We'll do this side first. Gotta line up the gaps. There, got it clicked. Okay, yeah, I'm pleased with that. Yay, now I got 12 of these to install. We'll do that off camera. We're not gonna waste your time, but when we come back, we're gonna be able to show you the final project. Just when you thought you were finished, we're also gonna cover installing the hardware, okay? So let's go through this. I'm gonna do this, make it easy for you. And these 3 holes are pre-drilled for standard handles, the standard handlebar or just the single. I like to go with a single because every time you drill through the face of a cabinet, you're risking splitting or doing excessive damage, and then you're destroying your cabinet. So what I like to do is take a small drill, something smaller than the hole, because the hole represents the size you need for your screws. And I'll take this and I'll drill through, right through the face. Oh. And, okay. Even a small hole has extra damage, right? Now, I can swap it out for a drill. It's just a little bit bigger. And drill through from this side now that I know exactly where the hole is, and look how nice and clean you get. You can do a template. You can drop a laser line, you can measure down, you can put tape on it. But if you've already got cabinets with holes and you want to use those holes as your guide, use a pilot drill from the backside, then you can make the hole in the front, okay? Now, most hardware comes in the kit with short screws, and they're no good in an area like this. A lot of cabinets, it's just the drawer and that's it. And so a short screw that comes with the hardware works fine. But when you're laminating a face onto a drawer, you gotta get longer screws. So, let's take a look at our options here. You can go out and buy longer screws, all right? Now the package of the hardware usually will have the information on it. The standards in the industry are 8/32, which just deals with the thread size, or it's the metric size is M2, and they don't work together. So you can't put the wrong screw with a different kind of thread hardware, all right? Remember that, because if you mix it up and you try to attach it, you're gonna really strip the hardware and then you're screwed, right? You're screwed. That's funny. Okay. The other option is you can go out and you can buy these. In the screw aisle, they have those bins, right? With all the little fittings and stuff. So you can buy breakaway cabinet screws like this. What you do is you simply put it through the hole, all right? And identify the last notch that can be cut off, all right? So I can cut the top 2 sections out. Now, generally, cabinet screws are really soft metal. So you can just take your electrical side pliers like this, line that sucker up, give it a squeeze. Perfect every time. Or, you can take your 8/32s and your electrical pliers, and let's say you bought 2" and they're too long. Because remember, there's only so much room in the handle, right? And if it's not tightening up, you can take it out, and on your electrical pliers, you're gonna have a couple of slots out here, okay? A 6/32, 8/32, here we go. And you just thread it right through, okay? And this is where it gets really interesting, because you're threading it through the holes on each part of the plier. And so then when you squeeze, you're gonna shear it right in the middle. So if you only gotta take off a little bit, you can just go like this. If you have to take off a lot, you go all the way down, okay, to how much screw you have plus the thickness of this side of the plier. And watch this. Oh, hang on, I'll go like this way. It wasn't even a lot of force, right? It was one hand. Whenever you cut something like that, you're creating a marred up, messed up end. So, when you get your drill and you put it on reverse, you're actually re-threading the end of the screw as it comes out. Now, this will go in the hardware with no problem. There we go. Okay. You also have the options inside a cabinet. I'll pull this out again, demonstrate this. That same spot in the hardware store, they have cabinet washers. You can actually buy them and they're stackable. So you can put 2 or 6 or as many as you need on the back side of the cabinet. And the screw head sits inside of that. And what it does is it gets an extra 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so if the screw is too long, you can do that and it solves your problem. In my case, my screws were not too long. So I got just, I managed to buy the right size, which is a miracle. Okay, there we go. Now, that of course is a lot easier to do when the drawer's installed, but it's easier for you to see what I'm doing. Here we go. Right, so in typical Jeff fashion, I was just mowing ahead and not looking at the design, and I got confused with this idea of installing a drawer above the mid mark. Now these cabinets came pre-drilled on the side for these handrails, but all of those pre-drilling locations are below the midpoint. So I, like an idiot, started making it too high and had to reinvent the wheel, when in fact it was designed to be installed with very little complication. I learned that as soon as I started putting them a little lower. I was like, oh, there is a hole. Wow. Sometimes, you know, we just don't read the instructions and this is what happens to us. All right, anyway, so this is really simple. Now these rails have got pre-drilled locations, so you can set them up and all the drawers are perfectly spaced. Makes your life really easy. So, cheers to the cabinet company. They did a great job of manufacturing this product and making it DIY installation friendly. Right, perfect. All right, well, just to recap, guys, Modular Closets is the company that we use. In hindsight, I probably should have taken advantage of their design services because of the complexity dealing with the slope ceiling, which ultimately caused me to modify my installation from the design that I built online. However, the process was simple. The design tool was awesome. The product is great. I can't recommend it enough. So we'll put a link in the video description if you want to go and check these guys out and put them to work for your next project, okay? Really quality stuff. Super pleased, especially the little details with the closet drawers. Like, these are perfectly spaced. I didn't have to spend all day long tweaking and twisting and turning. Just went together like really, really quick and simple. So obviously the modular closet system is what makes a very DIY friendly person create a really high-end product, right? This is a lot of fun, it's beautiful. But listen, if you're also in a market where you're out of the price point and you want to learn how to build a closet system that's a little bit more budget friendly, then you can click the link right here, okay? We built a closet for my daughter with just basic building materials right off the shelf from your local Home Depot, and you could do it too. All you need is a brad nailer and a little common sense, all right? So check that out, we'll see you soon.